In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms of real-life media products? We set out to create promotional products both through that of the trailer and the poster, with the intention of using the codes and conventions of the horror thriller genre to achieve the purpose of selling our product as a horror thriller film. Some examples of these codes and conventions that we have used in our trailer are teenage characters, low-key lighting, disconcerting non-diegetic sounds, the building of progressive tension, purposely distorted visuals and sounds, isolated locations, a sense of dread and ambiguity, voiceover, as well as many others. We also set out in mind with the target audience of teenagers and young adults, ages 15 to 19 and 20 to 30. Not only does our media product, being the trailer in this instance, as well as the poster and the magazine cover, use the codes and conventions of the horror genre, but it also challenges them. Whereas most horror features consist of the basic codes and conventions of any given story, with the ideology of good versus evil and a sense of danger as an example, our product primarily focuses on the aspects of the human psyche and this idea that the biggest thing to fear is in fact fear itself. Paranoia and the other psychological aspects lead the narrative, focusing on the lone character that the audience will venture on a dark, twisted journey with, hence our decision to delve into the criteria of psychological thriller as well as mildly action in some instances, as a subgenre. Our trailer consists of both general cinematic shots as well as handheld video shots. Most real-life media products only choose one or the other, rather than merging the two together as we have done in this instance. An example of a traditionally shot horror film may be the Scream series, and an example of the unorthodox amateur handheld shot horror film would be the Paranormal Activity films. My magazine uses the typical codes and conventions of a professional movie magazine such as Empire or Total Film, for example, to help achieve its purpose of being, as said, a professional standard magazine as well as advertising my product's film, Forsaken. These said codes and conventions that my magazine uses are issue, date, and price numbers, a barcode, cover lines, a masthead, a slogan, puffs, plugs, and a large featured article photograph, as well as other photographs on the cover. Because my magazine is primarily featuring a horror film, it is appropriate to also use the codes and conventions of the horror thriller genre. I've deliberately chosen to make the cover fairly minimalistic, the featured image in the article particular being left rather ambiguous on purpose. As well as this, there is a prominent use of green and black in the image to allude to the horror genre and this mentioned focus on fear. To add to the horror genre elements, we've added blood on the masthead, though subtle. Like our trailer, my poster uses the traditional codes and conventions of a horror thriller poster with the purpose of successfully advertising our production's media product in a clear and professional manner, as well as clearly demonstrating the intended genre and the appealing to our target audience. Many posters choose the traditional portrait approach, but some do in fact use landscape, especially for teaser posters much like mine. This is one way in which I challenge the form of the traditional media product, being in this instance the poster. I deliberately left the poster, like the magazine, extremely ambiguous, yet also intriguing and interesting for a reader/viewer. I've kept the information and text used to a minimum. Most posters use a lot of text such as cast credits, reviews, slogans, filmmakers, etc. But I wanted it to be very simple and very to the point as an advertising package. Literally, production company, a scene at the top, Sideway Films, the title, a slogan, and a date of release. The slogan was designed to raise more interest and give a little more information. The noun of him in the slogan, in Now You See Him, Now You Die, presents the audience with questions. Who is he? What is he? Etc. The word die is also quite punchy as it demonstrates the danger and threat within the narrative. I chose my image simply to be the setting of the film, a dark wood, something everyone can relate to and yet everyone, especially in the dark, in some ways fear. The use of filters to make the tree line much more menacing was designed to meet with the codes and conventions of the horror thriller genre, as well as the fonts used in the text, especially in the main title, Forsaken. As said, this is a teaser poster designed to gain interest and raise anticipation. It also sits very well with the rest of our advertising package with the trailer and the other poster, which reveal much more in comparison to this example. How effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary texts? I personally feel that the combination of our trailer and the poster and the magazine was extremely effective as a wholesome advertising package. Both posters were designed carefully to reveal more than the other. Mine was purposely ambiguous, acting as a teaser poster, whereas the other, made by Lewis, was a little more revealing. The trailer gives no clear storyline but offers a feel of wanting to find out more. Enough has been given to spark your interest in the film as an audience member, though going into cinemas would feel like an original, entrancing experience that is completely new to you. We spent a lot of time on producing each of the texts, and we used several different programs such as Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Photoshop, as well as a few others. We wanted to maintain a professional look across the board with each and every text, aiming to meet industry standards. They all link as they allude to and use the conventions of the horror thriller genre. The poster and the magazine link to the actual film, as one focuses on the setting of the narrative and the other focuses on its endangered protagonist, played by myself. My production's main product, the trailer, and the ancillary texts all perfectly link together to create an overall professional and thoroughly efficient promotional package. What have you learned from your audience feedback? Within the initial stages of production audience feedback, in particular, our online survey proved genuinely effective in the development of our piece. In particular with the question, within horror/thriller films specifically, which of these common themes do you find the most effective? While just over 20% found paranormal experiences and making the audience jump effective, nearly 80% found survival, action, and realism effect as a result of audience feedback, hence the prominent themes within our film. During the process of producing our trailer, we also periodically received essential audience feedback that actively changed our final product. For instance, an audience member initially reported concerns that our playground section and woods section were not linked in any way, though we sought to rectify this by the inclusion of short subliminal flashes of our main character, suggesting and teasing to the audience that there is some sort of hidden meaning. Some other feedback we received was that perhaps a final scare at the end was needed, though after much deliberation we thought for the purposes of such the trailer just being a teaser, we did not want to give too much away, and especially reveal our antagonist. I also thought it was important to ask for audience feedback in terms of my poster and magazine, of which some comments for my poster included eye-catching title, good uses of fonts, the trees look really effective and clearly demonstrate the genre, and the uses of filters and text were praised. One improvement I could have made was perhaps use a puff on my magazine in the form of a star or a circle. How did you use media technologies in the research, planning, construction and evaluation stages? During the research, planning, construction and evaluation stages of this project, it is undeniable that a large variety of media technologies have been used throughout in the various stages of the entirety of production. In the planning and research stages, we use Microsoft Word and Google Drive to create typed documents such as, for example, the text analysis documents, the plot synopsis and the location recce, to name a few. Another program we used was the online Adobe Story, designed for script writing and other writing purposes. In this instance, we used this program to write our script for the trailer. To present these said documents, we also use SlideShare. As for the construction stages, we've used HD video cameras, iPhones, and other audio recording equipment when filming, as well as programs such as Adobe Premiere Pro to create and edit the trailer, and Adobe Photoshop to design and edit the posters and magazine covers. We've also used online questionnaires which people have answered. During the evaluation, I myself have used Microsoft Word, Final Cut, and I've used audio recording equipment to hear my voice at this very moment in time. And we have of course used the website Blogger to provide all of our production's work and constant updates. All of these have been extremely useful in creating a professional promotional package, and we could not have done it without them.